The story begins in July 2007, with a bus on the road and our MC in it as he woke up in shock, wondering where exactly he was, and later realized that he was in a bus he took at summer vacation from Sishui County to Chujo in his senior year. "Why am I here?" he asked. "Wasn't I enduring the divine retribution?" He wondered, as I Chen Fan am the immortal sovereign of Baixuan, also called Chen Baixuan. I am the direct disciple of the immortal master of the apex martial arts, the immortal of Kanjing. He was taken away from Earth at the age of 30 and embarked on the road of immortal cultivation, and with aptitude, he reached the retribution-enduring stage after only 500 years of cultivation. He was known as a peerless genius who was most likely to successfully detach from the universe and ascend to the celestial realm. He fought with all the tribes of the universe and won every battle. He was thus honored as the immortal sovereign of Baixuan, but unfortunately he fell during the divine retribution, and it was because he had cultivated too fast to establish a solid foundation, and his Tao heart could not bear it. He had given up everything for his cultivation for the past 500 years, leaving behind countless regrets. All those regrets bursted out when the tribulation of inner demon came, leaving him nowhere to hide, and now he was returned as a teenager on Earth. He then sat down to calm himself down as he realized it is not the inner demon. But he really went back in time, and right now he has lost all of his supernatural powers, primordial spirit and Tao heart. He has even lost his magic treasures and weapons as it sank in that now he is just an ordinary mortal who can be easily killed even by a bullet, but then calmed himself once more as it is not so bad, and in this life he will steadfastly cultivate every stage to its best and establish a supreme Tao foundation. Blood for blood, leave no regrets, he told himself. As the bus was arriving at Chujo, he wondered, how long has it been since he left this city? But was interrupted by a phone call, which was his mom, and we are then shown her mom, who was a red-haired lady with a yellow skirt and a white shirt, standing in front of wide-area windows, which portrayed a bright atmosphere, and then called our MC by his name, Chen Fan, telling him that his Aunt Tang is probably waiting for him outside the station, also informing him that he should work hard at his stay in Chujo. Chen Fan couldn't hold his tears no longer as he was happy, because he hasn't heard her voice since she died in his last life, then reassured his mom, telling her not to worry, and she must also take care of herself, and was about to hang up as he had things to do. And so he did. After arriving at the station, he got off at his stop and immediately stretched out his hands as he was glad to be back again, and returning to his youthful age, and taking in the scenery before him. And while walking, he said to himself how he was bound to go through the mortal world again, and so in this life he has nothing to fear. While in the crowd, he was stopped by the mass of men staring at two beautiful ladies, one in a pink dress and sunglasses, and another in a shirt and long skirt that was supported on her shoulders. However, the same younger girl was busy complaining to the lady in sunglasses, whom was her mom, about the MC's late arrival as she was fanning herself due to the hot weather. But Mom refused her claim as it has only been 10 minutes. She sighed heavily as she has been in the sun for 10 minutes, and she had planned to go out to Starbucks for coffee in the afternoon and turned to the car, telling her mother that she is going inside as it is much cooler, then contemplated about how her mom even wants to set her up with the MC, but berated him as in her eyes he is just a bumpkin, saying how it's even possible while she was going inside the MC arrived, apologizing to his aunt for making her wait. They then all entered the car, and Chen Fan was at the back seat with the insolent girl, and there was silence for a while. In her head, she told herself that just as the meaning of his name, Chen Fan, which meant friend, she also just sees him that way and feels nothing more, and compared to Li Yichen and his friends, he is nothing. However, the silence was broken by Aunt Tang as she told him that Ran Ran, her daughter, is also going to be a senior as well, and he should look after her at school. And he responded affirmatively, as now she is as good as his sister, telling his aunt to not worry as he will protect her, but said to himself that this same girl was the one he once loved and was hurt by. But then he gradually forgot her in his past life, and her name, Jiang Churan. Then both, putting up a front, with fake smiles, lifted their hands for handshake, as Chun Fan told her to come to him if she ever needs help, and the girl agreed, saying he must not forget his words when she asked. However, secretly she was telling herself her father is an important government official, and her mother owns a company worth 10 million, and why would she need his help? And Aunt Tang smiled happily at the fact, telling Chen Fan that they will first go to his apartment to drop off his luggage and then head to her house to have lunch, to which he agreed. It then shifts to them going to his apartment, which was located at the lakeside community, which is near Yanggi Lake. His aunt saying how it boasts very beautiful scenery and how it's close to the Ivy High School, which he will be attending at, since it only takes 10 minutes to walk there, also explaining how his apartment has 3 bedrooms and 1 sitting room, asking whether the decoration was to his taste, and neither the less told him to enjoy himself and not worry about the rent, as he humbly bowed to thank her for treating him so good. "Your mother trusted you with me," she said, "so I'll look after you like my own son," then grabbed his hand to show him around and take him to her house to have lunch. Ranran in the background was annoyed at the fact that they get along so well. It then shifts to the Longjing Villa and his aunt explaining that their neighborhood isn't the best in Chujo, and they are apart from Yangui Lake, and the most famous place in Chujo is the Yunwu Mountain, which is said that every morning the houses are wreathed with clouds and mist, like seas and mountains of clouds. The real high-grade luxury houses are all on the hillside of Yunwu Mountain, but I think my house is good enough. Yunwu Mountain is gorgeous, but I don't seriously dream about living there, she stated. However, he replied that if she really likes it, then he will buy her a few when he makes money in the future. And then she can see the seas of clouds every morning as soon as she gets up, which stunned her a bit as she laughed, making light of what he said as she made scenarios of her taking his mother there too, and spend their years together while they go shopping and taking beauty treatments. They then finally enter the house as her husband was sitting on the couch, asking what was so funny as he could hear them laughing through closed doors, as Chen Fan greeted him, "Hello, Uncle Jiang." Then his aunt told him to take a seat as she is going to the kitchen to get some food, and they later all sit at the table to eat, while at the same time it was overwhelmed by silence, and inwardly Uncle Jiang was telling himself that he only briefly chatted with Chen Fan a bit, and he's an idiot with poor academic performance. He's just a loser and isn't good enough for Li Yikan. Chen Fan then breaks the silence by saying how he hasn't eaten a homemade dish in ages as it's so good, not to mention that it was made by Aunt Tang herself. Aunt Tang is innocent, elegant, kind-hearted, and beautiful, he said. She is even excellent at cooking, but she unfortunately married Jiang Shanghai, a power seeker. Chen Fan, you just arrived at Chujo, so let Ranran show you around and you can maybe buy something, said by his aunt, and so he agreed. After lunch, while they were both going out, Ranran stopped and arrogantly told him that she had something else to do, and he should go by himself or take a taxi or something. "You don't need my company, right?" she arrogantly asked, while inwardly telling herself that he better not ask her for company. However, her arrogance was quickly shut down as Chen Fan didn't even care whether they went together or not and left at once. Of course, she didn't take it well as her pride was shuttered. While he walking, he contemplated to himself that the place he is going, the Yangui Lake, has the richest spirit energy around as he found a particular tree to sit next to, thinking himself that he needs to hurry up and begin to establish a foundation as there are 8 stages of cultivation, including Qi condensation, Jiantian, core formation, nascent soul, spirit severing, void returning, Tao fusion, and retribution enduring. Although Qi condensation is just the beginning stage, it has 3 small stages: foundation establishment, profound opening, and spirit sea. The foundation stage is the very first stage of cultivation, after which cultivators can lift hundreds of pounds, run as fast as a horse, break through the limits of their bodies, condense true essence inside, draw talismans, and become capable of some magic. If so, which way should he use to establish his foundation, he wondered, and while books were flying around him, he remarked that he collected myriads of street arts over the past 500 years. He collected 13,726 ways of establishing foundations alone. Apart from his regrets, another major reason he fell during the divine retribution was that his foundation was not stable enough. And still, while reaching out for a particular book, he continued, "Even if the foundation establishment stage is the very first stage for cultivators, it doesn't seem very important, yet only with a firm foundation can a skyscraper be built, and this particular book, which is named The Great Way of Tao, Avoid Body Refining Arts." This specific art puts emphasis on inclusiveness and absorptive captivity. Now that he can practice cultivation on the earth, where spirit energy is nearly exhausted, I must rely on various medicinal materials, treasures, and even evil and yin energy to facilitate his cultivation. After that, he closed the book to begin cultivation. Time went by with him sitting in the same position until morning as the sun was beaming with a sense of freshness. While working on his breathwork, a beam of energy was seen entering his body as he opened his eyes with a smile dawning in his face as the void body-refining art was really the #1 foundation establishment way in the world, as he directly entered the initial stage of foundation establishment. And it's actually the first time he cultivated it. Clenching his fist, he stated how he cultivated the whole night, as he is lucky that the place he was in was out of the way and free from disturbance, and so to test his newfound power, he swung his fist at tree and punched it with great force, leaving cracks in his trail behind, which naturally satisfied him at the moment due to his physical capabilities. However, he was interrupted by the rumbling of his stomach, signaling hunger as he forgot that he is immortal now, and so he needs to eat. While heading back, he came across an old man who was with 2 people following him, a young lady and a man, and as soon as the old man saw Chen Fan, he sharpened his gaze for some reason, leading the Mac to ask what exactly the old man wanted. However, the old man brushed it off as just a mere encounter, and Chen Fan, not paying mind to it, seemed to be distracted by something as his gaze fell upon the young lady as he noticed that she had a trace of true essence inside her body. Wondering if she is an immortal cultivator, however denied the notion as her true essence is too weak and the condensation is too loose. It's thousands of times weaker than a real cultivator, but she has the inner force and its quality is inferior to a cultivator's true essence power. However, his inner speculation were interrupted by the girl as she wondered why Chen Fan was looking at her and shaking his head at the same time. He tried not to entertain her inquiry as he told her that he just shook his head because of something else. However, the old man suspected that Chen Fan truly noticed something as he asked the MC to halt, with the bodyguard also blocking his path. The old man was truly curious what the MC had seen in his granddaughter, wondering if he could tell him the real reason for such actions. However, Chen Fan was a bit annoyed as he told him that it has nothing to do with her. "Show some respect," said the bodyguard. But the old man did not relent in his inquiry as he said that judging from the way he walks, maybe he studies martial arts, then introduced himself as Wei Fu, asking the MC where he came from and who his teacher is exactly. Wei Fu? The MC. "I'm not a student of the martial arts. I'm scarcely a Dao cultivator, if you must ask," said Chen Fan. A Dao cultivator? The Dao sect? The old man wondered. The young girl wasn't too pleased that Chen Fan just lied to her, though, which made him laugh. "I'm just a Dao cultivator, and know a bit of qi condensation techniques, that's all," he said. "Brandishing spears and sticks or fighting and killing are really not my specialty. You're mistaken." "Well, in that case, you and my granddaughter can spar a bit and learn from each other," said the old man, and the girl in a fighting stance said, "Come on, let me teach you something." However, Chen Fan wasn't enthusiastic about the matter, as it looked like he had to show some of his skill, and he replied that he doesn't want to bully weak women. "Who are you calling a weak woman?" the girl asked angrily as Chen Fan just went to pick a leaf in the tree, and in the next step fused the leaf with energy and flicked it with great force. Everyone was really worried, including the old man, who shouted at her granddaughter to watch out. However, the leaf wasn't aimed directly at her as the energy beam went past her, grazing her cheek in the process as well as her hair. The leaf struck the tree with incredible speed and force, which left the girl dumbstruck as she saw her blood on the cheek, turning her head to look at the leaf that was stuck in the tree. She was shocked by the fact that someone is able to hurt people with a flying flower or leaf. The old man sighed heavily with relief as he never thought he would see such a divine technique in his remaining years, then bowed as in front of a master. His granddaughter and him were impetuous, as he pondered to himself that he never thought this boy would be an unknown master of martial arts. The bodyguard, still feeling tense, thought to himself, "It is my first time to see such a skill. It was so fast that I couldn't take out my gun. How horrible!" he exclaimed. "You cut off my hair with this soft leaf and drove it into the tree? How is that even possible?" she asked. It's just a little QI condensation technique, not anything special, he replied. But the old man said how it's a negligible technique to you, sir, but a miraculous master skill to us. So Grandpa started to call him sir. You said a master can do what I did? Chen Fan asked. Yes, a sublimity master is at the prime of martial arts, far beyond the limits of mortals. He can release his inner strength and can easily kill someone tens of feet away. Being a master yourself, sir, you don't know that? It's just common sense in the martial arts circle. I'm really just a Tao cultivator, and that was nothing but a little QI condensation technique. I've never heard of the things you are talking about before, Chen said. Tao cultivator? He is really not a master of manifestation? The old man wondered. We need to win him over first. With his skill, he is on par with a master. Moreover, my granddaughter is still unmarried. Then said out loud, It doesn't matter whether you are a master or not. Judging from your accent, you are also a native of Chujo. I'm from Sishui County. I've lived there for 17 years, and now I came here for school. Chen replied, My name is Chen Fan. You can also call me Chen Beishuan. Beishuan was the Taoist name my teacher gave me. However, the others haven't had such names before, as the old man asked Chen Fan where exactly his master is. And he did not come with him, but Chen Fan just replied that he is not on this planet right now and said to himself, Alas, humans are unable to defeat aging, illness, or death. My comrades in arms, though I've cultivated inner strength. I cannot reach the master's level. I'll probably meet them soon since he is a mortal now. Then out of nowhere, the old man coughed heavily, leaving those around him very worried as he tried to reassure them. You've strained yourself trying to use inner strength, haven't you? Oh, you understand medicine, Mr. Chen? How did you know about my ailment? Asked the old man, and the girl interjected. My grandpa went to war when he was young, and he forced himself to use the inner strength when he had not totally mastered it to help his comrades in arms retreat. He was injured as a result. He didn't receive medical care, and because of that he had an internal injury as time went by. Until this day, he hasn't treated it at all. Mr. Chen, since you are a Tao cultivator and can see his injury, do you have a way to cure him? He suffers great agony every time he has a fit, and modern medicine can hardly do anything for him. To be frank, our family has some power here in Jiangbei. We will do anything for you if you can cure my grandpa. Then Chen replied, It wouldn't be difficult for me to help. It must be fate that I met you, and they were all delighted by the news. First, I need to go do some preparation. Then I'll go to your house to treat him in 2 days, all right? And they all happily agreed and said to himself that a stoic girl like her is the most beautiful when smiling. Then it shifts to the MC been driven home by the bodyguard, and along the way Chen was saying to himself that the old man Wei Fu spoke gently. But he couldn't hide the air of a military man. He must have served in the army when he was young and must have been in a high position, and said how he has always admired the soldiers who defend the country and protect our homes since he was a child. They practice inner strength, so they are his kind of people, and before he could finish his thoughts, they had already arrived as Chen Fan thanked the guy and told him that he could pick him up at the lakeside community in the evening in 2 days. And the bodyguard agreed, also asking to exchange numbers so that he can call him if ever he needed anything. And so they did. I don't know medical skills. Then went to the shop and came out with his purchases in plastic bags as he headed back to his apartment, where he placed the purchased goods inside a magic circle and finished his statement. But I know how to refine pills, he said as he lifted his 2 fingers up to conjure the magic spell, Spirit Condensing Formation Up. As light emitted from the magic circle, small spirit enhancing pill, complete. And golden pills fell on his hand and explained that a spirit-enhancing pill is a kind of pill that can enhance one's primordial QI. It can be called panacea. People who are ill, injured, or weak can all take it. Since now they have a fateful connection. I'll give him another gift, he said, then started writing something on a paper as he also received a phone call from his Aunt Tang, which he answered. Yes, it's me, Chen Fan. I want to ask a favor of you. Ranran wants to go out to a party with her friends, but I'm worried. Can you go with her? It won't be too long, just dinner. Perhaps. No problem, Aunt Tang, he replied. Great. I'll send you the time and address. As he hung up the call, then thought to himself, I'll do this just for you, Aunt Tang. It shifts to the restaurant or cafe, as Ranran was with her two friends, as it showed that she was complaining to her mother on the phone about the fact that she asked Chen Fan to accompany her. And one of the blonde friend asked her what was troubling her, as it's her birthday, and she replied that her mom is sending Chen Fan here, but she doesn't like him that much. The blonde friend asks, "He is the son of your mom's friend, right? The one your mom wants you to marry?" "Yeah, it's so annoying," Ranran replied. "What does he look like? What is his family like?" asked the blonde girl. However, Ranran chopped her head, calling her a little gold digger, only caring if a guy is handsome and has money. The blonde girl arrogantly folded her arms, saying what was wrong in her thinking, because in this society, what use is a man without a handsome face or a rich and powerful family? The other friend, Xu Rongfei, also interjected, saying, Meng, the blonde girl, is just being petty. However, if his financial condition is not good, it will be difficult, and you'll have trouble understanding each other after they get married, even though they love each other. And Ranran, feeling all flustered, said how she doesn't like him like that, so there was no need to worry. Now I'm in a bad mood." Then entered Chen Fan, as he was looking for the group of friends, whom he noticed as he entered and approached to greet Ranran as she greeted him back. However, his visitation wasn't welcomed by everyone as the blonde girl. Meng intended on embarrassing our MC as she said, "So you are Chen Fan? You want to go after our campus's beauty? Do you know how many admirers she has in the school? Who gave you the courage?" However, Ranran stopped her from speaking, and Chen Fan, being the giga he is, wasn't even fazed by her words. "Worry not, I just came here to have dinner with her because Aunt Tang asked. I have no intention to go after her," as his gaze fell upon the white-haired friend, Xu Rongfei, as he explained that she is the one he has to keep an eye on, because in his previous life she died tragically, and now he hopes he can save her in this life. However, in the next second she looked at him sharply, asking if he knew her, and why his starring. "No, but I have a learned family, proficient in divination, and people say I'm a great fortune teller," he replied. "Although this is the first time I've met you, I know you are an art student, and will be admitted to Yanjing College of Film and Television in the future." "How do you know that I want to go to Yanjing College of Film and Television?" she asked, but the blonde girl intervened. "You are a celebrity at Ivy High School. Who doesn't know about you? You, boy from Sishui, you can't win over a girl by just talking glibly." And Ranran meanwhile thought to herself, "I thought he just liked to brag. But he knows something after all. I didn't expect him to be so cocky." Xu Rongfei also wondered to herself, "But I just told my mom, my ideal university last night. However, I didn't tell anyone else. So how did he know? I can't ask him more in the presence of others. He is so odd, he seems to have a kind of strange magnetism." More people then arrived outside as the blonde girl got up with excitement, calling for her boyfriend Yang Chao, saying how the party should now begin as they all went outside, and she happily jumped at her boyfriend. However, Chen Fan wasn't too pleased, as Yang Chao was his biggest enemy in his past life when he was in school and loved to show off in front of beautiful girls, and how he often embarrassed him. Yang Chao then asked her girlfriend Meng who exactly Chen was, and she whispered in his ears to him about the situation, and going off to what was said, he smugly introduced himself, saying how his family runs a 5-star hotel, and said how Chen Fan dares to go after their campus beauty Jiang, aka Ranran, also saying how he must have an extraordinary background while holding out a hand to Chen Fan. However, his inner thoughts were betraying what he was saying out loud, as he was calling him a bumpkin, and how he dares to go with them in the same school. Chen Fan didn't shake his hand, though, as he just introduced himself as well. Xu Rongfei was thinking to herself how it's not good to mess with Yang Chao, as there was a guy who offended him, and Yang Chao had the whole basketball team beat him up and break his leg. The guy even dropped out of school. After her thoughts, she then cast a worried glance at Chen Fan, and his only response was to smile at her, which made her turn away, feeling a little bit flustered as she caught herself worrying about our MC, also asking herself why he is even smiling, calling him an idiot who is totally oblivious. Yang Chao, being loud, bragged by announcing that they can go to karaoke, then dinner.
And after that, they can hit the bar street, saying how no one's going home early tonight, while his girlfriend suggested going to a new karaoke bar in the new urban district as their King's Hall is cool. He kissed her on the head, saying how they shall go there then, which made Chen Fan understand why his Aunt Tang was worried, as they will probably end the party at daybreak. I have to go to treat Waifu, though. I don't have a lot of time, he said to himself. The waist of the guy, however, still tried to embarrass our Mick, pretending that their cars are full and laying his hand on Chen Fan's shoulder. Said, how about he takes a taxi to the destination by himself? Chen Fan, however, knew that they were obviously messing with him, as there was plenty of vacant seats, and Exu Rongfei, being the kind soul he has saved him, as she called Chen over to their car, saying how there is plenty of room, and Ranran, who was next to her, wasn't very pleased at her actions. The same went for the blonde girl, who now had to sit at the back seat, allowing Qin to sit in front. Chen Fan was glad that Exu Rongfei was still kind-hearted, like she was in his past life. Then off they went to the karaoke bar, where in the entrance they were greeted by ladies in pink. That's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more. Until next time.